Hello again everyone and welcome back. In today's tutorial, we'll be looking at constructors, what they are and why they're useful. So, what is a constructor? A constructor is basically a function which automatically gets called the moment you create an object. Previously, we could create an object and use that object to call functions from our class. But now, the moment we create an object, it will automatically create a function called constructor. So, how do we create a constructor? It's actually quite simple, and it's the same as creating a function but with some different rules. Firstly, constructors never have a return type, so there's no need to type int, void or string, etc. You will just basically need to type the constructor name, and this constructor name will always be exactly the same as the class name. So that's the way C++ knows that it's a constructor, because it comes across a function with the exact same name. So we'll create this object, and in the body we'll have something printed on the screen like "This is a test." So here we have a constructor that will get called automatically as soon as we create an object. So, what does this mean? If we have an object from my class called Jaguar, instead of typing out all the text as previously, now, as soon as we create the object, this constructor gets called. And when we build and run it, this will get printed automatically. So previously we needed that object to call functions, but now we have the constructor, which is a special function and gets called automatically as soon as you create the object. So what is the use of a constructor? Generally, programmers don't print on screen on constructors. The main reason programmers make constructors are to give variables an initial value. For example, this class has a variable called name, but it may have other variables called height, weight, age, etc. So when you create an object from that class, you would also want to assign some values to these variables. So when you want to take a value and assign it to a variable, you need to add a parameter in your constructor. So to assign a value to this name, we need to pass in string. We can name it A. So we'll be passing it in a string to set it equal to name. We have a function that already does that, called setName. So you need to type setName with a parameter of A. So when we want to use our constructor, it can also take a parameter. So we can type, say, cream crackers. So now when we create an object, it'll call a constructor with a parameter called cream crackers. It will see if that has a constructor, then as a parameter it needs a string. The string was cream crackers. So whenever it saw an A, it plugged in cream crackers. So it recognized that in the constructor you set the name equal to cream crackers. So cream crackers got passed into A, which got passed in the X, which got passed in the name. So now the name is cream crackers. We can now print it on screen. To access anything in your class, you need to type object and the getName function. So when you build and run this, you get cream crackers on screen. So that is what the constructor is and how it works, and also how you can add a parameter to your constructor. The only time you want to add parameters to your constructor will be when you want to take variables which are inside your class and you want to set them equal to values initially. That is the reason why constructors are useful. Now let's just look at one more thing. We have an object in my class called Jaguar whose name is equal to cream crackers. So if later on I created another object from my class called Tiger and set that name equal to chocolate cookies, would it overwrite the previous one? So we can try by printing out Tiger getName. And what do we get? Cream crackers and chocolate cookies on the screen. So it's important to emphasize the fact that even if you create an object from the same class, each object has its own set of variables. One object, Jaguar's name is cream crackers, and the object Tiger's name is chocolate cookies. So, although they're from the same class, one does not overwrite the other. So basically, it's possible to create multiple objects from the same class, and they don't overwrite each other. They are all assigned their own set of variables. So anyway, today we focused on constructors. So try to get to grips with that, and we shall meet again in the next tutorial. Thanks again, and bye bye.